Good afternoon, and welcome to another episode of the Modern Day MoBro. Today, I am going to be talking with a person who, honestly, I will be bringing her on for other topics than today's. Although I am very excited about today. Today, we're going to be talking about Christmas and stuff. It's going to be very cute. But Loralynn Allen is a nursing educator who kind of has like a doctorate in educating nurses, if that makes sense. Like she's like a nurse's nurse. Anyways, she's got a wonderful perspective on the world and really is just a good friend. And I'm very much looking forward to talking with her about being a mom today and what raising kids around Christmas is today. And yeah, so we're gonna talk with her about that. Couple fun facts. I went to high school with her husband, and I was there the night that her and her husband met. And the night that they started dating. It was very cute. I remember them being on the couch looking at each other. It was like, oh, Loralynn and Eric like each other. Nice. So, without further ado, we'll bring her in. Loralynn!
Hi. Hold on.
Hello!
There we go. How are you?
Hello! Welcome to the Modern Day MoBro. I'm loving your background, by the way.
Thank you. It's pretty consistent with what's actually outside. I just don't have a window.
Yeah, I was like, is that Logan? I thought for a second, that's not her backyard.
No. Go, no. But it may as well be. I think this is somewhere up the canyon or something similar.
We're gonna call it Logan Canyon for sure.
I'm good with that.
Oh my goodness. I am just so excited to have you on today.
I'm
And
excited.
so, when we were texting kind of about, I really just kind of wanted to make up an excuse to have you on, is
I
really what this
love
way.
it.
And I was like, well, this would be a fun topic because you're such a fun mom and your whole family is you guys have a unique situation in that Eric kind of stays home and takes care of the kids more, and you're
Mhm.
the major provider, but you guys still are able to have it feel like a normal family. And this time of year with Christmas, what do you guys do to keep the Christ in Christmas?
Oh, well, for one, we do our best. That's really what it comes down to is we do our best. It might look really nice on the outside sometimes, but please don't come and look at my toilets or the laundry room or different things like that because we work really hard to work with each other to do what we do, and it wouldn't be possible without each other, quite honestly. Like it wouldn't. um
Well, and I think you guys are so good at working together. Like a lot of every marriage should be a team, right? But
yeah.
you guys are a team. Like everything
Yeah.
you guys, Eric talks about your guys' relationships and how there's this give and take, and you guys truly do rely on each other and work together to achieve these goals.
Yeah, it's I couldn't have said it better myself. Like there is no doing this without Eric on my team at
Yeah.
all. And I think as I was thinking about, bringing Christ to Christmas and the topic and everything there, um really what it kept coming back to me was actually a conversation we had in Relief Society a couple of weeks ago when we talked about traditions in our families. And there's a sister that is in our ward, and our ward is a lot of younger families, like in our age group. And then we've got several families that are retirement age. They've got grandkids, some of
Yeah.
them even great
Yeah.
grandkids, but there's not a huge population. And this particular sister, she said she's got 50 some odd people in her family. So she's got grandkids and great
Oh,
grandkids on the
wow.
way
So
and
you
things
got a
like
big
that.
family. Yeah.
Yeah, and she's got a lot of experience, and she's one that I've really attached to. I really appreciate her and her expertise and her perspective on things. And one of the things that she commented on was that when we have these traditions for our families, there's a time and a season, and they don't always have to be exactly the same thing. Um, and that really has stood out to me the last couple of weeks is like, what am I doing in my season right now? And what have I done in my season previously? And how does that grow and how does that develop and how am I okay with that?
I
Because
really like
as
that, the giving it its time and place, and
yeah,
because everything has its time and place, right?
yeah,
And And what is the priority now, and how do we give how do we give Christ his time here, and that
Exactly.
sort of things.
Exactly. And it's, it's interesting because again, reflecting on that with my kids, we're in a really hard season right now with kids. The boys are toddlers and
And you've
man, are
got
they
twins.
toddlers. Yeah. And they are terrorists.
They've got the
I
house.
love them. But
Yeah. Oh.
they have both figured out how to move the kitchen table or kitchen chairs around so that they can climb up on top of the table, and they can manage that in about 10 seconds flat. So before I can even get across, they've got the table situated, and they're standing on top of the table with
Oh my
whatever is
goodness.
there and like ready to jump at you. So really what I'm getting at with this one is this picture that I had imagined for my family and for like Christmas traditions and for all of these things. Um, is very different than last year
Yeah.
and is very tailored to a very particular season. So what we've done this year in our family is uh we've actually started having a lot of conversations with our older girls. So Emma is 8. She just got baptized
Yeah.
in November.
Congratulations, by the way. I teared up when I saw those pictures. I was like, oh,
I can't believe how
she's
old she
getting
is.
so old. I can't handle this.
Well, can I tell you, it was Tanner was the sweetest thing.
Was
So
it?
Emma
Oh,
is on the spectrum. And so a lot of her early years were trying to overcome some of those challenges for her and thinking like, is she ever going to start talking? Is she going to understand things the same as bigger kids? And I remember having the thought when she was younger, what's it going to be like when she turns 8?
yeah.
Is she going to understand? Is she going to be able to like is she going to understand enough to know what she's doing when she gets baptized? And the week leading up to her baptism, it was so sweet. She kept talking every day about how she was going to get her Holy Ghost.
Oh my
And
goodness.
she would talk about it just anywhere. We're walking into Walmart and she's holding my hand. She's, Mom, I'm so excited. I'm going to get my Holy Ghost on Saturday. And Jesus is going to be there and he's going to help me make decisions. And, she talked with things like this that 4 or 5 years ago,
We're not a
I
thing.
didn't think were possible. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so this year for Christmas has been really unique because we have been able to have a lot more of those conversations with
Yeah.
her, and Sophie's picking up on it too. And um, I shared a couple of videos on videos on Instagram within the last couple of days.
Yeah.
One was President Nelson and it's like a 3-minute Christmas message. And then the other one was like a 1-minute video from the Strive to be the Standard for Youth page. I don't
Yeah.
know what the actual title is for it, but it
The
was just
strength
a
of youth.
very, there we go. Thank you for the strength of youth. And it was very simple and had very simple words going across it all the way through. And Emma sat next to me while I was watching this one and she just read it off
Yeah.
all the way through, reading those words, keeping up with it, and then looks at me. She's like, Mom, that was really nice. I really like that. And it was just
Oh,
like,
heart
it's
melted.
working. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Eh,
But
wow.
yeah, kids are cool. They're
Okay.
just,
Well, and I think it's
yeah,
really interesting with kids because you have your experiences like from growing up, and you want to give them like a similar, or well, I don't know. For me, I want to give my kids a similar experience, even though I know that I'm never going to be able to replicate that.
yeah.
And so I like you try your best and you find what works for you, and
Hmm.
you roll with that. And
Absolutely. And
and
it's so interesting that you mentioned that because like last night we took the kids Christmas shopping with the whole idea of like I loved this when I was growing up. This is going to be a great experience. It was not a great experience. Can I just
it was not.
we had
We
it
hated
was
it.
not the narrator coming over. This was not the experience that they expected. But we got home and again going back to those conversations, Eric had a really good conversation with Emma because she was, you know, she wanted to see what Sophie had picked for her. And Eric was able to have a good conversation with, this is a time for giving.
Yeah.
Uh, what is the gift that was given to us? Why do we give gifts? Why do we, what is the purpose of Christmas? And it's to serve each other
Yeah.
and it's to show gratitude to each other. And it's to recognize the gift that was given to us. And it was a really cool conversation.
Yeah.
She's still pouting and everything, but it's one of those that she surprises us by coming back and having these conversations later, like, and bringing it in bedtime prayers talking about the gifts that we're giving for each other and how Jesus gives us these gifts and these things that these little sponges you never expect when those things are going to pop out
Oh my
again.
gosh. I'm jealous of kids in this way.
Yeah.
Earlier today I was kind of thinking about this conversation going on, and I wanted to see what has President Nelson said, and I knew that I had seen that he had done a video on Instagram
Mhm.
of a Christmas one, and so I was
Yeah.
like, what does that say? Because I had just kind of glossed over it, but
Yeah.
he talked about letting our light shine this time of year, and how us as members, I know I feel this way where I try to just be me in everything that I do, but especially this time of year, kids, as you talk about Emma asking about the Holy Ghost and going and having these experiences and just letting things be and giving spirituality the freedom to be a part of everyday
Mhm.
life. They're so much better at that than I am,
Yeah.
and it's inspiring to see. And
Yeah. They
oh,
make it look so easy. Like really.
to
They
not
make
have
it look
guile
so
must be
easy,
nice.
right? Well, it's interesting too because I think back on like going back to my childhood,
Yeah,
thinking back on like my mom. And as a kid, you kind of roll your eyes like, come on, mom, you don't have to talk about a conference talk right now. But really, truly, she is so good at
yeah,
bringing spirituality into everyday and
yeah.
into these situations that I didn't recognize how important that was until I became a parent and realized like, oh wait, I need to be intentional about this. And and what do I need to do to bring this to my kids so that they recognize and they see that the spirit is something that you have with you all the time and that feeling truly is a gift.
I really love that the spirit is a gift that you can have with you all the time. How do you do that? How do you keep that spirit with you?
Oh, that's hard. It's so
Right?
easy to get distracted, right?
Oh, so easy. I get distracted every day.
Yeah, yeah. And it kind of goes back to that there's a season for everything.
Yeah.
Um, because like thinking back to when we were in college, it was really easy to like, I'm gonna study my scriptures, I'm gonna do these different things and making time for it
Yeah.
and setting aside space. And now with kids, it's like, ah, and then
Good luck.
working, yes, right. And then working multiple jobs. I mean, I work full time for USU and then I work at the hospital on the weekends. And so it's
You're a
kind of
rock
like
star.
I don't know. It's all necessity. I love what I do, but it is necessity for sure.
Yeah.
But I think it takes more effort to find
Yeah.
those moments and to find them in things that you wouldn't necessarily jump to.
Yeah.
Um, and then and find them in ways that you do recognize. Like you and I both connect over music.
Oh
And
yeah.
music
Oh
is a
yeah.
way that brings spirituality to me very strongly.
Yeah.
And so if there's a day that I notice like I really need this, that I've got my playlist and I've got these different things that help to get that music. This last year, one of the things I had done, I actually downloaded the Book of Mormon audiobook.
Oh, I like that.
And yeah, and it was great because I have a 15-minute commute into town after I drop them off at school and as I'm dropping off kids at daycare.
Yeah.
And so like I just pop my earbud in and I'd listen to a couple of chapters as we'd go through and just have that at the ready. Because
Yeah.
otherwise, if I tried to like make time to sit and study, it didn't ever happen.
It just doesn't happen. Funny how that works.
Yeah. What about you? What do you do?
To keep the spirit with me always. I'm not good at it. I think that it's important. What was running through my mind when I asked the question was I when I feel the spirit, I try to listen to the spirit and follow those promptings, because it's easy to ignore things. I
Mhm.
also like to give myself the freedom to have oh my freedom of choice. So
Like
I'll be praying for no's and direction. When I look for direction from the Lord, I look for no's,
yeah,
because I think that
yeah,
everything should be a yes until it's a no.
I agree.
And so that's kind of my thing is, well, if I'm gonna shoot, and I'm gonna go, and I'm gonna trust in myself, and until I hear no, this is what I'm gonna do.
Well,
And
I think that really relies on the concept of agency,
yeah,
where, it's for me, agency is the Lord saying, I trust you.
yeah,
I have guided you. I have put you in these circumstances. I trust you to make your own decisions. But I'm a parent. So if I see that, this is going to be a major diversion from somewhere, or I see that, you know, Watchman on the Tower, I see that it's going to put you towards more hardship, I might course correct you just a little bit. But otherwise, I trust you. And that's both very intimidating and also very liberating.
I feel like parenthood has to be the closest to godliness that we have, because
Yeah.
you're like caring for this individual and like trying to help them through life, and you have to let them choose. But man, same
Yeah.
thing.
And I mean, on the same vein, I think that just the concept of service brings you a similar concept,
Yeah,
and the sense of stewardship. Because we know, like, I've got a lot of very close friends that have struggled with infertility issues. And for them, how do you experience something similar? And for them, it's a lot of service. It's a lot of that sense of I have stewardship over my ministering sisters, my ministering family, and
yeah,
how can I feel that same feeling of like I'm watching out for you. I have a little bit of stewardship over you in the ministering capacities to help you reach potential, to help be there for you when you might not have this opportunity otherwise.
oh, I love it. Oh gosh, Loralynn, I need you guys to move closer so I can have these talks with you more often. I guess we'll just
I
have to
know
have you on the podcast more.
it's
But
so fun. I love talking about this kind of thing.
that's it. Yeah, that's when I did put this podcast together. I wanted something that I could talk about, just stuff that's important to me, and so much of it is gospel topics.
Yeah.
And I oftentimes feel scared to do that in other settings, but for whatever reason, this just seems to fit, and I'm
Oh,
really
I love
enjoying
it.
it.
And I think every time we see you guys, we end up talking about something gospel related
Oh,
anyway.
for
So this
sure.
is perfect.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I hope that we can get together next week sometime. I think
Yes.
we're gonna be back around Wednesday,
Oh,
so
perfect.
let's
Yeah,
get
we'll be there.
dinner or something somewhere.
Please. I need to see you guys. I miss you guys a lot.
Um, well, I wish you the happiest of holidays. We're probably at about our time, so
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna end us. But Merry Christmas, and oh, I
Yeah.
also, just so you know,
Yes.
I consider you and Eric family. It's always a joy when I get to go up and see you guys, and
Yes.
I look at you as a template of wisdom and family direction. So just know I'll
Well,
be hitting you guys up often in our near future.
absolutely. You are Uncle Tanner in our house. So,
Mm,
and Aunt Nicole, we love you guys so much.
I love you too. Well, thank you so much,
Okay.
Loralynn. We'll catch you later.
Sounds good. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.